Hi everyone. Today we're going to be working on lesson 2, rotate tape diagrams vertically. So let's start with a little bit of review. First we want to figure out what is halfway between 0 and 16. Well, I'm going to do 16 divided by 2, or I could write it as 2 times unknown equals 16. And I know that 8 times 2 is 16. So that means I should be skip counting by 8s. So 0, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. So each bar represents 8 more. Okay, this says, tell me a multiplication equation that represents the total value of the tape diagram. So remember, that means this tape diagram is telling me that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 4 each. So 7 times 4. And if I skip count, then I can find that 7 times 4 is 28. Remember, I can either skip count by 7s 4 times or by 4s 7 times. What is the value of each unit in tape diagrams A and B? Okay, so the value of each unit is 8, because as you can see, each group has 8 in it, in both sections. So for A, I could write 4 times 8, which is 32. And B, I could write 7 times 8, which equals 56. So that's a quick reminder on how to read a tape diagram. Okay, let's practice. Risha played in 3 basketball games. She scored 12 points in game 1, 8 points in game 2, and 16 points in game 3. Each basket, ooh, that's a big multiplication word, basket that she made was worth 2 points. She uses tape diagrams with a unit size of 2 to represent the points she scored in each game. How many total units of 2 does it take to represent the points she scored in all 3 games? Okay, let's start with game 1. In game 1, it says she scored 12 points. But I know that we're counting by 2s because each basket is 2 points. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And these are all units of 2. Okay, game 2, she scored 8 points. So this time, 2, 4, 6, 8. And lastly, game 3, she scored 16 points. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, but I'm not done. It says how many total units of 2 does it take to represent the points she scored in all 3 games? So let's check how many units of 2 here. Well, I know that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of 2 because 6 times 2 equals 12. So there's 6 plus here I have 4 units of 2, which is 8. Plus here I have 8 units of 2, which is 16. So I'm going to add that all up and I get 18. So it takes 18 units of 2. Okay, so today we're going to be taking our tape diagram and rotating it. So up here, we have it sideways like we're used to. And down here, all we have to do is twist it. So now the 2's are going up instead of going sideways. So if you think back to our picture graphs from yesterday, we know that in the picture graphs, they're not all connected, but they still represent units. And we also know that sometimes they represent 2 units, but it wouldn't say it in the box. So it's a little bit different, but it's the same idea. You're representing data in a new way. So vertical tape diagrams are another way to show data. Okay. So let's write some multiplication problems to represent the data. So in game 1, we know that she had 6 units of 2, which equals 12. Game 2, she had 4 units of 2, which equals 8. In game 3, she had 8 units of 2, which equals 16. And you can tell all this from the data. Okay. Last thing, let's write a title. So what could our title be for this data? Because we want to know, well, why are we looking at this data? So we're going to put points Risha scored. Sorry, it's a little messy. So that would be a super good title. Okay. Now, we're going to use that same data, but we are going to change our unit. So instead of having units of 2, we're going to have units of 4. So let's look here. First, I think we should just take this apart and find all the 4's. So I know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. So I'm going to circle all the 4's. Okay, so I can see that there are 3 4's, and let's check my work. So before I have 6 times 2, which equals 12, and now I'm saying, okay, I have 3 times 4. Well, if I break apart 6 to 3 times 2 times 2, then you can see that once again it's the same. So 3 times 4 equals 12. So this time, I'm going to make my vertical tape diagram. So vertical means up and down. But this time I only need 3 boxes. And in each box is going to go 4. But don't forget, I need to label this game 1. Okay, let's try it for games 2 and 3. How many total units of 4? So right now, I have 4 groups of 2 equals 8. But I'm going to circle my 4's. So as we know, because we could actually flip-flop, 2 times 4 is also 8. So instead of writing it as 4 2's, I'm going to write it as 2 4's. So game 2, 4, 4. Then over here, I have 8 groups of 2, and I want to know how many 4's. So here's 4, 4, 4, 4. It looks like I have 4 4's, which is right because 4 times 4 is 16, and so is 8 times 2. So for game 3, I need 4 boxes of 4. and that represents that she has 16 points. Okay, so I now know that she scored, once again, 12 points, 8 points, and 16 points.